add the topic of facilities at item 10 and to change the following item numbers after that fact. Is there a discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. It is our December meeting that calls for the organization of the board. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Dr. Mills for the election of a chairman for the upcoming year. Dr. Mills?
Board members, at this time, I will open the floor for nominations for election of a chairman.
Dr. Mills,
Yes, sir.
I nominate Dr. Fitch for chairmanship.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. We have a nomination and a second for Dr. Fitch. Any other nominations? Hearing none, we can close the nominations and election by acclamation with vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Dr. Fitch, congratulations, you're chairman.
Thank you. Members of the board, now we need to elect the vice chairman. The floor is now open for nominations.
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Powell.
I would like to nominate Henry Mercer.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, by acclamation, Mr. Mercer, you have been elected as vice chair. Thank you very much. If you would join me, members of the board and members of the audience, in the Pledge of Allegiance to be followed by a moment of silence. Mrs. Powell, if you will lead us, we'd appreciate it.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Members of the board, we have before you the minutes of the November 20th, 2023 regular board meeting. What is your pleasure in regard to the minutes?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Barnes,
I move that we approve the minutes of the
November
I'm sorry, I pulled it up here.
20th.
November 20th, 2023.
It has been moved by Mrs. Barnes, seconded by Mrs. Boyette, that the minutes of the November 20th, 23 regular board meeting be approved. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. We're at the good news. Mrs. Powell, assisting Dr. Mills, will present our good news.
All right, board members, audience members, tonight I wanted to recognize a few groups of folks, and for the past several years I've had a contest for elementary students to design the Christmas cards that I send to colleagues in Wilson and across the state on behalf of the school system, and selecting the winners is always one of the hardest things that I do because they're really great designs and great artwork, but it is something I look forward to every year. This year, I selected 4 winners out of the 39 submissions. It is beginning to be a bit of a challenge, and there's some really great work that comes in from our students, and I'm really proud of the students' creativity and talent and their attention to detail. We have framed their artwork for the 4 winners, and we also have Good News Award certificates and a $25 Walmart gift card for each of them because they won the contest. So, students, I want to thank you for sharing your artistic talent with us. As someone who has none, it's really humbling. But these are beautiful, and I want everyone to get a chance to see them. And again, they're representing our school system and going out across the state. So we're in the process of mailing out the cards, and I know it'll put everyone in the holiday spirit when you see them. I also want to thank the art teachers for working with the students on the cards and getting all those in, and I know it's a busy time of year. So we've got a lot of family members and school staff in the audience that would like to acknowledge. So we're going to do it a little bit different, but if you would raise your hand if you're part of Jael's family from Hearn. All right. And then raise your hand if you're here with Eliana. All right, there's one of our winners. With Alexis. And with Roshali. I'm trying. If you would come up, we're going to take a photo with Ms. Powell with your certificates, and we've got your framed artwork. So I want you to see that and take that home with you. So if y'all would come up front, we'd like to get your pictures, okay? And turn your artwork out so everyone can see that it is beautiful. Got it? I hope that's where you did. I got them. I got it. You go ahead. These were some of my favorites this year, I have to admit. Any other pictures? Going once, going twice? Okay. You guys are welcome to sit back down. Thank you. All right. We'll do you like that. There you go, Deborah. I'm serious. If you get a chance to look at the artwork as you pass it around, you need to take a peek. It's beautiful. At this time, I want to recognize some folks that participated in the North Carolina Elementary Honors Chorus participants. Charlotte Joyner and Lucy Oriana and Miss Jana Winders. Charlotte and Lucy. Now y'all can stand in the middle. It's okay. Are fifth graders at Lucama, and they were selected to perform in the North Carolina Elementary Honors Chorus November 4th and 5th in Winston-Salem. They were selected for the second year in a row. That's a big deal. How about a round of applause for that? That's a big deal. So we're proud of them yet again. And approximately 400 students in grades 4 through 6 from across the state auditioned to be a part of the North Carolina Elementary Honors Chorus, and only 175 students were selected. The students rehearsed for 2 days with the clinician prior to the performance at the Stevens Center. We want to thank Lucama Elementary music teachers Jana Winders for supporting Charlotte and Lucy in their selection and for being there for the performance. Please raise your hand if you're here with Charlotte or with Lucy. Oh, everybody's in the house. And with Miss Winders, anybody? Yeah, I thought so. And so now let's take a photo, shall we? We're not going to make you sing, okay? Sounds like you've had plenty of practice, though. Any other pictures? Get them now while you can. Okay? Congratulations. And I'm really excited about this last recognition. If I could have Miss Carol Whitehurst come forward. Thank you. Let me tell you about Miss Whitehurst. We're recognizing her tonight because she's someone really special who has served the students at Wells Elementary for a long time. Miss Carroll has been the crossing guard for Wells through the Wilson Police Department for 45 years. I mean, it's amazing. Now, she's not going anywhere. We just wanted to make sure we show our appreciation. So don't start thinking that. And I have to tell you, I only see you as we go by because I'm scared to stop for fear I'll make a mess of things around the school. So I just kind of keep going because I know Miss Carol will make me move. So, but anyone who's driven by Wells Elementary during school drop-off and pickup has seen Miss Carol at the intersection of Grove Street and Kincaid Avenue. Whether it's rainy, pretty, hot or cold, she's out there taking care of our students as they walk. And so we asked Miss Carol how she got started in the position, and she told us that her husband used to be a teacher at Wells, and the principal asked him if he thought his wife might be interested in being the school's crossing guard. And when he asked her, you jumped at the chance because you love children, and you've been doing so since. And so Miss Carol also told us that at the beginning of the year, some students are kind of shy about talking to her, but she doesn't give up, and she keeps reaching out to them, which is really kind. In no time at all, they're excited to speak to her and tell her about their day. So we're really, really grateful to you for all you do for our system and for our students. And we also want to thank the Wilson Police Department for providing our schools with crossing guards like Miss Carol, who will go. That's your boss? Well, we'll give him a hug later behind the camera. But folks like you that give back to our students like that and care are very valuable. And you are out there every day, and it wouldn't be the same without you. So we love you when we're appreciative, and so thank you. So we want to recognize you. So we need to get your picture. We know you'll keep us moving too, so I'm not worried.
Good news, good news, good news.
Special lady right there.
Yes, it is.
She sits out there every day. I really am scared to
I'll
stop.
be at the funeral like her too.
She's a sweetheart. Turn off.
That's okay.
She's a sweetheart. She's out there every day. She's amazing. No,
No,
she's neat.
I tell you.
I really am scared to stop because I know she'll make me move and mess something up.
All right. We celebrate the good news, and that certainly was good news. And we certainly do thank Ms. Whitehurst for the continued service that she gives to us in helping to keep our students safe. The next item on our agenda is the chairman's report. Well, Dr. Mills stole some of my report when he recognized the honors chorus students and Ms. Winders, so I'll skip that. But let me thank the members of the board for allowing me and along with Mr. Mercer to continue to serve as your chair and vice chair for the next year as we work on behalf of the students, our staff, and our community. And the only other thing I have is that at last month's meeting, I wished everybody a happy Thanksgiving and indicating that the first semester was quickly coming to an end. Well, we're even closer. Our second grading period, our second 9 months will end in only 8 more days after this day is concluded. And then we'll be sending everybody home for their Christmas break. So on behalf of the board, let me extend holiday greetings to the students, the teachers and staff, the parents, and the entire community, and wish each and every one Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and a Happy New Year, because when we see you again, it will be the new year. And that concludes the chairman's report. So, Dr. Mills, I'm going to turn it over to you for the superintendent's report.
Madam Chair, board members, I wanted to recognize again Lucama Elementary for its 2023 National Blue Ribbon Award. And while we know the school was recognized by the Department of Education on November 17th, last week we had a really special visitor because of the recognition. We were excited to welcome Governor Roy Cooper to Lucama Elementary on the 28th. He spent time in several classrooms, and the students were excited to show him what they were learning. A few students asked for autographs, and there was one student that really kept him on his toes by hitting him up with jokes and telling him various knock-knock jokes. I think some he was able to take with him. So I was really proud of the students and the teachers whose classes he visited. Pre-K teacher Tina Pickett, third grade teacher Beverly Dawson, and fifth grade teacher Brooke Ellis. In those classrooms, the students continued on with their work, and the teachers did too, which is what they should do. And he had a chance to see what they do every day. And while we interrupted, they kept going, which is what we want them to do. But it was a really great visit. The governor gave remarks in the media center, talked about how proud he was of Lucama and how supportive he is of public schools. But I wanted to thank the board members, all of which were in attendance, and thank you for being there. And for those involved in preparing for the event, I wanted to thank them publicly as well. The Lucama administration, Ms. Grice was here earlier, custodians, support staff, and teachers. That's a big undertaking to have folks come and take over your school for a day. Our senior staff, Ms. Lynch and Iceland from Public Relations, Ms. Sullivan, Wendy Sullivan in the Sheriff's Office were all involved as well. But a National Blue Ribbon Award is the highest honor awarded by the U.S. Department of Ed. And it is impressive that Lucama is one of only 8 schools in the state and one of only 353 schools in the nation. So we're glad the governor came to visit, and we're really proud of Lucama and the whole Lucama family. And the visit was wonderful because of all the work that went in to the visit behind the scenes that's sometimes seen and not seen by all the folks I mentioned and others. So thank you to all who had a part in it. It was a really great event. So I also wanted to announce that we're excited about the Healthcare Foundation of Wilson recently announced some new strategic grants. And one of the grants is for the health department to open another wash center in our schools. And that'll be our 5th clinic. The location will be Darden Middle School. So the other wash centers are at Forest Hills, Bedingfield, Fike, and Hunt. And that is a really wonderful service and opportunity for our students and staff because of the partnership between the school system, the health department, and the Healthcare Foundation. So if you see any of those board members and others, please tell them thank you for that support and that commitment. It is making a huge difference every day. The goal is to one day have clinics in all of our schools so that every student has access to health care when needed during the school year. We're not losing instructional time. We're not missing school altogether for staff and students. To date, the Healthcare Foundation has provided $2.4 million in grant funding to support those clinics. So without that, we would not be where we are. I recently received, as of today, an email from the state board asking us to come and share information about the WASH centers. So we'll be talking with them and arranging that probably in the January meeting. So others are going to want to follow the path thanks to support from the Health Department and the Healthcare Foundation and the board's support for the WASH Center. So congratulations for all of that. We are in the process of developing our 24-25 traditional instructional calendar, and we've asked for input from staff and families for the approval at a future meeting with the board. 2 calendar options have been created, and they can be reviewed from a link on our website and social media sites. Paper copies are available as well for feedback at the schools. So we're asking for input by the 15th, so that's right around the corner. So please, if you've not had a chance to do so and wish to do so, it's coming up right up around the corner, so get that feedback in. Wanted to share with the board that we did something different. Dr. Wilson and her staff and HR held a virtual job fair on November 30th, and there were a total of 21 candidates who participated. 8 of the 21 were interested in certified openings, and 13 were interested in classified openings. So we've had some interviews scheduled from some of those candidates. So as you know, it's a very competitive marketplace right now for staff at all levels and all positions. So if you want to hear some more about that, Dr. Wilson and her staff did a great job trying to capture another pathway for us to get people to join our family here. And so that was a new event for us on the 30th. And I would just echo some of the sentiments from Dr. Fitch. It may not be as fast or as slow as some people want, but our winter break is pretty much upon us. Our traditional schools have early release for those of you keeping track at home on December the 21st, although I can't imagine anyone not keeping track of it right now. And then the students will be out for break through January the 8th. Our early colleges start their break next week, and then they return the second semester on January 4th. So I wish our students well as they take exams and finish strong, please. And I would hope that everyone has a safe and relaxing holiday with family and friends. And remember, you must come back after the holiday break. Madam Chair, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Such good news coming again from our partners for the 5th WASH clinic to be coming, and to everything that has been spoken of. Next on our agenda, thank you. Next on the agenda is the opportunity for the public to give input. Each person is granted 3 minutes for his or her presentation. This portion of the meeting is for the board to hear matters of interest from the public. However, obscene or vulgar statements, personal attacks, and statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or imminently threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. We have 2 persons who have signed up to address the board this evening. The first is Carrie Moravi, speaking on positive experiences with Teacher of the Year, Spanish Immersion in the IB program.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to highlight some of the awesome things that are happening in Wilton County Schools. My name's Carrie Maravi, and I'm a teacher at Fike. I've taught for 17 years, and I'm grateful to be from a small town that has a huge impact. I teach IB classes at Fike, and I wanted to take a moment and celebrate this program and its successes. Our students graduate with complete confidence that they'll be successful at the university of their choice. Last year, we had 100% of our students who completed the program to receive the IB diploma. That's considerably higher than the national average. Our coordinator, Mrs. Wheeler, does an awesome job advocating for our students and for our teachers, and she's working really hard to grow the program. So parents and students, if you have interest in joining the IB program at Fike, please reach out to Mrs. Wheeler. We would love to have you. Another thing we're doing really well in Wilson County is the Spanish Immersion program. at Frederick Douglass Elementary School. My boys participate in the program, and they wake up excited to go to school every day. As a parent, I'm so grateful that their teachers and principals are doing everything possible to develop a love of learning in my children, and it's really been a blessing to be a part of that very special program. This year, I have had the opportunity to be on the WEP board, and this board has taught me so much, and it's inspired me and given me a new perspective as a teacher. It's been really reassuring to work with people who are eager to sacrifice their time and who will lend their expertise to teachers and students of Wilson County Schools. I truly feel like our community recognizes the efforts and the hard work of our teachers. Wilson is very lucky to have a group like the Wilson Education Partnership. I did a lot of traveling last year when I represented Wilson County Schools as the Teacher of the Year, and I met teachers from many other districts. Not many school systems in North Carolina have a board of community partners like we do, one that supports education and aims to give back and reinvests in its community. The WEP has given many grants to many of our teachers. Those grants help support them with special projects that will have a positive impact on our students. The Communicating with Confidence program has been life-changing for so many families in our community. And it has a ripple effect that will continue to pay forward positive changes in our community. I'm really grateful for all that I've learned being a part of the WEP, and I still have a whole half a year to go. We have so much to celebrate in Wilson County. I just thank you for allowing me to be a part of so many special programs. And it's really impacted me as an educator. It's impacted my family. And I'm just excited for the direction that Wilson County Schools is moving in. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Larry Crable regarding curricular decisions for Wilson County Schools.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With laws recently passed by our legislature usurping control of public education, curriculum, library content, and even high school sports, as well as underfunding public schools and diverting state revenues to unaccountable private schools, do local public school boards have the authority to influence decisions on curricula in the local schools? With grave threats to our representative democracy, January 6, election denial, voting rights issues, etc., civics classes logically should have robust curricula devoted to the Constitution, the three branches of our government, and the separation of powers, the sacrifices that our citizens over the centuries have made to establish and preserve our democracy, and issues affecting our democracy now: extremism, denial of facts, conspiracy theories, a lack of willingness to listen, discuss, and compromise, and voting rights issues like gerrymandering. With climate change being a reality, record temperatures, extreme weather events, droughts, famine, polar ice melting, and sea level rising, extinction of species, Earth science curricula need to include science-based sections on climate change, its potential causes, its effects now and for the future, and the possible ways of mitigating climate change and its effects. With the COVID pandemic fresh in our minds and ongoing, health class curricula should logically include science-based discussions on COVID, its symptoms, effects on individual and public health, its transmission, vaccines, how they work, and how they were developed. Students should be advised of the dangers of misinformation and disinformation from online, cable, and other sources, and to base personal views and decisions on facts and not conspiracy theories. The curricula in history should be factual, often open, and unimpeded by political concerns. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat their mistakes. with conspiracy theories rampant, facts optional in public discourse, many websites manipulating people's values, students should be given the tools in schools to discern truth, detect misinformation and conspiracies, think critically, solve problems, and be informed and productive citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Crable. Your time has expired. Members of the board, at this time, you may direct the chairman to respond to the concern on behalf of the board, direct the administration to respond, refer the matter to a board committee, refer the matter to the administration, or place the matter of concern on the agenda for a future meeting. What is your pleasure?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Powell?
I believe that we should direct the administration to respond to the input.
All right,
I agree.
all right. Then, Dr. Mills, if you would please respond to the speakers from this evening. We would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Members of the board, we're at committee reports. Administrative Services Committee, Mr. Mercer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This afternoon at 3:30, the Administrative Services Committee met, and we had 2 information items and 1 action item. The first information item is contracts requiring board notification. Dr. Williams, would you please share with that, on that, please?
Yes, sir. 2 contracts requiring board notification. Both of these are in the school nutrition department. Thompson and Little and Singer is the company. It is for a serving line at Hunt High School in the amount of $86,414.74. The second contract for notification, United Restaurant Equipment, and that is for a walk-in freezer at Pike High School, and that is for $46,165.
Thank you. Anyone have any comments or questions regarding the contracts requiring that were just referenced? Hearing none, the second just information item was school nutrition updates. And that had some interesting information and exciting, as a matter of fact. Would you share
Yes, sir.
that, please?
During the Administrative Services Committee, Ms. Jamie Narian, our Executive Director for School Nutrition, shared some updates from the School Nutrition Department. From those updates, she provided information in regards to a current spend-down plan that the School Nutrition Department is currently undergoing. So, School Nutrition is a nonprofit organization and must not exceed 3 months of operating balance. Our School Nutrition Department has over 3 months of operating balance, and will engage in a spend-down plan in the amount of $1,100,617.30. So this is the first time in regards to a spend-down plan that we have had in Wilson County Schools at least since 2013, and we couldn't find any information prior to 2013. These funds will be used to purchase equipment for the schools, for salaries, benefits, for school nutrition staff, as well as for food cost and supplies. The items are prioritized in area of greatest need and what could potentially be more impactful to finances and operations. So an example would be prioritizing freezers for our school nutrition department. Freezers have the potential to have a big loss in regards to product and finances if they were to fail. Some of the items that will be on this spend-down plan will be milk boxes, reach-in coolers, dishwashers, combi ovens, ice makers, hot boxes, and walk-in freezers for Vic Elementary, Benson Bonham Elementary, and of course the one that we had tonight, which is Fike High School. The second item that Ms. Naren shared was in regards to the administrative review that just took place here in Wilson County Schools, school nutrition. And there were several items that were listed that the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction commended the school nutrition department on. Some of these items were the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction commended the Wilson County Board of Education, School Nutrition Administration, the School Nutrition Office, School and District Administration, teachers and staff, and on its support of the school nutrition program and the complex requirements to operate the school nutrition department. The district actively applies for grants and has already received multiple grants from various organizations, including the USDA. There was 100% accuracy on meal eligibility and verification. DPI also noted that the district has 22 CEP schools and 2 schools that are universal free program. One of the other points of note was that the fresh fruit and vegetable program was noted as one of the best ever reviewed in 2 decades by the North Carolina DPI. Fike High School, Margaret Hearn Elementary School, Lucama Elementary School, and Darden Middle School were the review schools. They were commended on the great customer service and their displays that were presented by the staff. The district was also commended on the Second Chance Breakfast program at our high schools, 3 traditional high schools. It was also noted that the food quality is excellent and the menu items are freshly prepared and that foods are presented in an appealing and appetizing manner. There was one finding that was noted, and that finding was noted for the purpose of strengthening our warehouse procedures and adding to the component of the spreadsheet we have for another component of warehousing.
Dr. Williams, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was exciting to hear about the spend down plan, and all the items that we're using for in that regards were well needed, really needed items. It's not a matter of we've got some money we have to spend, but they were really needed things that will enhance the program that's already got a great review.
Yes, sir, that's correct. These are definitely priority items for our cafeterias and our school nutrition department.
Thank you. Anyone else have a comment or question? Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to commend school nutrition and administration because this is especially significant to be able to have this $1.1 million to increase salaries and buy all of these things at a time when all of our students are able to eat free breakfast and free lunch. So that just makes it all the much more wonderful for us to be able to get these extra things too. So thank you, and the review is just tremendous to see how well it came out and the commendations that we received. So congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Nairn and her staff did a tremendous job getting prepared for that.
Yes. Anyone else? Hearing none, the action item is a contract requiring board approval. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, it's with Barnhill Contracting Company for early site demo and abatement removal of Frederick Douglass Elementary School at a price of $1,776,847.
Yes, sir.
And anything to add, Dr. Williams or any board member? Hearing none, Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
on behalf of the Administrative Services Committee, I move the full board approve the contract with Barnhill Contracting Company for the early site demo and abatement removal of Frederick Douglass Elementary School in the amount of $1,776,847.
Second.
It has been moved by Mr. Mercer, seconded by Mr. Breen, that the board approve the contract with Barnhill Contracting Company for early site demo and abatement removal of Frederick Douglass Elementary School in the amount of $1,776,847. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously.
Madam Chair, that completes my report.
All right, thank you so very much. Next was the Instructional Services Committee report. We met this afternoon, and there was only one action item. So, Mr. Mercer, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you, as I will be making a motion on behalf of the committee.
Yes, ma'am.
The item before us was regarding Proficiency Summer School for 2024. As you know, we provide state EOC, EOG, and North Carolina Extend 1 testing. With this proposal, students will receive additional instruction and take associated state tests if they have not performed well on them. They will serve students that have not scored proficiency on the EOG and the NC Extend 1, grades 3 through 8 in math, the EOG and NC Extend 1 in grades 4 through 8 for reading, end of grade and NC Extend 1, grades 5 and 8 in science, EOC English 2, North Carolina Math 1, North Carolina Math 3, and Biology, as well as Extend 1 in grade 10. Well, we know that only the first score that is made by the students will count for growth, but the second score will be taken into account, and it does affect our proficiency by our students. We had a wonderful year last year with the Extend programs, with our summer programs, and please note that the remediation would occur on June the 6th and the 7th, and that testing would be June 10th and 11th for those students in our schools from 7:30 to 12:30 at the high school level, 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock on the elementary level, and 8:30 to 1:30 at the middle school level. Mr. Vice Chair, on behalf of the Instructional Services Committee, I move that the board approve the Proficiency Summer School 2024 as proposed by the administration.
It's been moved and properly seconded that the full board approve the Proficiency Summer School for 2024 as recommended by administration. Do we have any questions or additional comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. It carries unanimously. Madam Chair, it's yours.
Mr. Mercer, I'm going to let you keep this at the current time as we go into the added agenda item of facilities, as I will be making a motion for this particular event. The preparation for the construction of the new Frederick Douglass Elementary School has been an ongoing issue that we have been discussing. Our architects, Skinner, Farlow, and Kerwin, as well as Barnhill Contracting Company, our construction managers at risk, have prepared design documents consistent with the commissioner's request to build a smaller, less expensive school that will serve fewer students. Tonight, we were presented the bid for the demolition of the old Frederick Douglass building and site work for the new school. The county commissioners have paid some of the initial invoices for work completed by both firms. However, recently, the commissioners have indicated that they will not allocate additional funds for the Frederick Douglass project until the Board of Ed agrees to a total cost of the project of $32 million. This is despite the fact that the state has calculated the cost to build an elementary school is $42 million, and the 2023 state budget amended the cost of an elementary school to be up to $42 million through the needs-based public school capital fund. The district is submitting an application for needs-based public school funding that requests the maximum allowable amount of $42 million. We received a letter from the county commissioners dated November the 15th, 2022, that reads as follows. Dear Dr. Fitch, I want to thank the Wilson County Board of Education for your shared commitment to quality school facilities for all students. Our recent visit to the Wilson Academy of Applied Technology facility was a great example of shared vision and collaboration that will benefit students for years to come. At the November 7th, 2022 Wilson County Board of Commissioners meeting, we reviewed upcoming projects for Wilson County schools for allocation of funding. Commissioners agreed that as part of the county manager's recommendation for the allocation, the Board of Commissioners directs the Board of Education to, for the Frederick Douglass Elementary facility, direct the architect to address 80% capacity when designing the facility. They have done that. Direct the architect to build an expansion points on the site plans that would allow a shovel-ready design should future growth dictate expansion of the facility. They've done that. For the Hunt High School athletic track, we would like to see the construction part of this project proceed the first day after the 2023 football season ends. This allows for a full earned income period of fall sports next year. As part of this, all construction documents, permits, and any components needed to start the construction should be ready to proceed immediately after the 2023 football season ends. We have dealt with that. Our Board of Commissioners feel these directions for Frederick Douglass will foster a building design that allows for natural growth and possible future expansion. The directions for the Hunt High School project will prevent any disruption of the football season and allow for an immediate start on that project. We expect the final budget to reflect these directions. We appreciate our long-standing partnership with the Wilson County Board of Education. Please reach out if you have any questions, and this was signed by Rob Boyette, the chair of the Wilson County Board of Commissioners. With respect to unpaid invoices, the two firms that were mentioned, Skinner, Farlow and Kerwin, and Barnhill Contracting Company, have completed the work and need to close out these invoices prior to the end of their fiscal year and continue to provide the county commissioners with the information they request so that we can be reimbursed. Therefore, I move that the outstanding invoices for Barnhill Contracting Company in the amount of $72,900 and Skinner, Farlow and Kerwin Architects in the amount of $408,606.95 be paid immediately with local funds and a reimbursement from the county commissioners be requested.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that it be approved to pay the outstanding debt or invoices to, just let me get the name of the contractors. Is that, who's that?
Barnhill
Barnhill.
Contracting.
I wouldn't come to mind, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Barnhill at the amount of $72,400 and Skinner Farlow, the architects, at $408,606.95 to be paid immediately. Any further comments or questions?
Madam Chair, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to know exactly what the $72,900 and the $408,606.95 are being paid for.
Now, when you say reason of being
What are
paid,
the invoices?
Okay.
What are the invoices for?
I think you described that in your presentation regarding the work that was done, didn't you, Dr.
I'm
Fitch?
asking for which work? Which?
The architects.
For which site or which,
For, yeah, for every, what was this work done for?
The architects drew the plan that was asked for when we started this process. The county commissioners then said that we needed to reduce our student numbers. They went back, they revised the drawings and the add-on possibility that was asked for in their letter to us. So they have done the drawings and the planning for the Frederick Douglass School in the amount that they have submitted invoices for. Barnhill Contracting Company has done preparation work, and other entities, I don't know the exact figures, if Dr. Mills or Dr. Williams can provide that, but they have provided us the services, and they have submitted us the invoices, and as any other business entity, they did work that was requested of them. This board took the action of hiring both of those firms, and so for the work done to date, we need to be able to honor the invoices that have been submitted to us.
Okay, I still had, one of you said, in your presentation, one of you said it was $72,900 for Barnhill, and the other one said 400, and which one?
Well, I heard, and I put it down, 72,400.
No, sir, it's $72,900.
Thank
And
you.
which,
And
Matter of fact, I think that's what I did write down, and I couldn't read it. I'm sorry, I apologize.
and for the architects, the amount was $408,606.95.
and this is all for work at Frederick Douglass.
Yes.
And it's my understanding and my understanding and my belief, this work was a result of the commitment to build a school, and then the directions given to change the capacity of the school. That was my understanding of it. Any other comments or questions?
And just for the 408,606.95, it's my recollection that the architects charge based on a percentage of what they estimate the project to be at. And that's why that number is that number. Because they estimate approximately 40,800,000 plus incidental fees, which is how we got to 42. But that's why the architect's amount is that amount.
And I believe that's what's charged, and then if they continue with the project, that pays towards their fees. I do recollect, I think it was 1%. I think you're absolutely correct on that.
Mr. Mercer is conducting this.
Okay, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Mercer, I apologize.
No, ma'am.
How long have we owed these firms? Because my firm belief is if you get a service, they need to be paid, and we need to be able to explain
Well-
why they were getting paid, but how long have we owed?
I can't say exactly, but in my opinion, it's overdue and has been overdue. And I think the reason it's overdue is because, well, in my opinion, I can't speak for the administration or the remainder of the board, is because for whatever reason, and I don't understand it, but it appears that the county commissioners feel like it's not their place to pay it. Obviously, I mean, they would have paid it if they thought it was their place.
Will it become a part, is that a part of the money that they were going to give us for the building, the demolition? Is that money's a part of that, or is it?
It's not part of the demolition, no ma'am, I don't think. And please, I don't claim to know all the ins and outs of it.
No, that was not part of the demolition. We just approved the budget tonight, a request tonight for a contract for Barnhill Contracting for the demolition and the site preparation and the removal of asbestos or whatever. That was what we just approved tonight, so that was a part separate from the amount that's been invoiced to us.
I guess my opinion is, we've had a good relationship with them, building, the Watt building, and if we owe them, we need to pay them.
Well, I agree with you, and my general thinking is that if we aren't going to pay them, they're not going to continue to do work for us, and it's likely we'll be hard pressed to find anybody that will do quality work for a good price.
Dr. Mills, do you have a date on invoicing?
I do from the handout from your meeting. For Barn Hill, it's from August 14th. From Skinner, Farlow, and Kerwin, there's one invoice from September 1st, and there's another one from October 3rd.
It's, and it kind of bothers me. I have no question we should pay it, or it should be paid. But when we have to take money from the schools to do it, that money's coming from somewhere that might be used to help children, as opposed to using capital money that we should be getting from the county commissioners. That's my thinking on it.
And traditionally, the county commissioners have paid these design fees and invoices.
Yes.
In building projects.
There's no reason at the time to think that they wouldn't when we entered into the agreement, I believe. And we also were taking direction from the county commissioners and the changes to what the original plan was, which I don't think it reduced the expense of the plans, but it was in an effort to take some guidance and do what we were asked to do. But I'm afraid we're at a point where we're being asked to do something that's not going to be in the best interest of the children in Elm City.
Mr. Chair, Mr.
Yes,
Vice
ma'am.
Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Your first statement that you made, that, wasn't it something about they would not, that this wasn't paid, or that there was something about they wanted a firm dollar amount for the project? The first part that in your introduction, what was that, the statement?
I don't recall saying they wanted a firm number, although I think they may. But that's the purpose in having the architects do their work, so we do know what a number is, what it's gonna cost us. I'm not capable of saying it should be this amount or that amount. I think that's the purpose in doing that, and that's what we've done in the past. I reckon I may be confused or disappointed. I don't know what it is, but that's me. Now, I'm not speaking for any other member of the board. But
Mr. Mercer?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Mills
Oh, I'm
is,
sorry.
yes, sir.
They have indicated, as I shared, that the price amount that the board is being asked to consider is $32 million.
So we're saying that they've indicated that we should build a building for $32 million.
That is the discussion at this point. From their end, that is the number.
But now, if I remember correctly,
but that is secondary to the point that we're.
I'm
that
just
we're
answering,
over-
I'm answering
Okay.
Ms. Boyd's question.
okay.
That is an accurate statement.
Any other comments or questions?
I have a comment, just.
Yes, ma'am.
Agree with what was said earlier about that we should definitely pay. We should not have, we don't want the reputation of not paying our bills. When something is due and it's expected from us, we should move forward and do it. I do hate that we're having to take our funds from one area to take care of it, but we are doing it because we need to. This is something that we can't just keep putting off. That's just my opinion.
And it's not that I think that it's connected directly to this responsibility, but the fact that we're having to talk about paying it. I do think that it's important to mention that we have been very diligent with capital money to the extent that we correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Mills, in the last year or so has spent like $29 million for capital expenses without getting a dime of that from the county commissioners. And that don't mean that they owe us anything or should do anything, but it should be a sign that we're trying to be dollar smart also. And it hurts us. If we don't pay it, we're hurt because people aren't going to do business with us. If we do pay it out of our monies, somewhere that's going to take something away from some children in Wilson County. That's just my thinking.
Mr. President, one final comment.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I guess we've been kicking the can, as they say, down the road for
Yes,
quite a
ma'am.
while now. And when I recall our joint meeting at the Ag Department with the county commissioners, they said, give us a budget and we're ready to move forward. We can build you 2 new schools. And now it's gotten down to 1 school and we're not even funding 1 school. And it's just time for us to make a decision. I think that the parents, students at Frederick Douglass deserve our attention to this, to go ahead and get the ball in motion. You hear people over in Elm City saying, when are you gonna start this construction? You've been talking about it for a while. And just go ahead and get the ball rolling so that we can pay our dues, the monies that we owe, and so that we'll be in good faith in the future. And just go ahead and get this over with if we can, by meeting with the county commissions if we have to again, to get some things settled.
Well, and I agree with you. The $32 million number, I have no idea where it come from. The only thing I've heard is a number. And that's what they're willing to spend to build a school, which will not build a school that we talked about with the reduction and even with the reduction that was asked for earlier. The thinking or where the number come from, I have no idea.
Well, in the discussions at the October meeting, you had directed me as chair and Mr. Mercer as vice chair, along with the superintendent, to meet with the chair of the county commission board and their vice chair and the county manager, and we did do that. And as a result, when we walked out of the meeting, they did tell us that we would be getting a school, but so that's not the question right now. The question still right now and before the board is the payment of the outstanding invoices from the 2 entities that we have already mentioned. But they are still saying we will get a new school. But right now, our question is taking care of the outstanding debt that we have with
Yes.
those 2 entities.
And we'll call the question in a second, but Ms. Barnes, you mentioned the school they deserve in Elm City. I'd go as far as to say that the school that the students need in Elm City. I agree with you that they want that, but to me, it's not a matter of a wish list, it's a need. Now, with that said, are any other comments or questions?
And can I add that Elm
Yes.
City, they need to have a nice school. They need stability, they need to know that we're supporting them and that we are definitely pushing forward to have a nice school for that particular town. They're good people there, and it mean a lot to them. They set an example for all of the schools that we're getting ready to build. And that's- Hey,
They're fine people in Elm City.
Thank you.
Are you afraid?
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
In y'all's discussion, was there any suggestions on how we should get to the 32 million?
No, at the meeting, there was no mention of 32 million. It was still 27 million.
Because, I mean, we're $10 million apart, and we've already downsized the school. So I don't know how we're gonna make up the $10 million.
Well, we just billed 75% of it. I guess.
Leave off the
I
cap.
don't know what the plan is.
I
but
mean-
the general statute clearly says we give them a number, we tell them what the needs is, their job is to fund it. If they don't fund it, then unfortunately, we have to proceed to something crazy like mediation and/or litigation to try to get the extra 10.
And I don't think anyone at this table prefers that method.
No, I just,
I certainly don't.
I just don't see this as being negotiable. I mean,
Well,
the cost is the cost.
well, it appears that we don't see it negotiable one way. The county commissioners don't see it negotiable the other way. I think we were told that all the county commissioners have agreed that $32 million is the right amount. Now, to be quite honest with you, what information they were given, I don't know. I mean, I really don't, and I have no way of knowing. But I do feel that $32 million, as much as that is, will not build the school that the children in Elm City need. From both what the State Department of Public Instruction says, what the architect says, and we're just not getting off to a good start, it appears.
I feel like we designed the school that we were requested to design, and the cost is the cost.
Mhm.
And I agree with everybody's statements, pretty much everybody, that, we need to go ahead and get our contractors paid.
Yes. So with that being the main issue, and many other thoughts thrown in about the way, but I think the vote and the motion was in regards to paying the outstanding, I said debt, but it's the invoices. Any further?
Would you
Yes, ma'am.
repeat the motion?
I'll do my best.
I'll repeat the motion since I made it. I move that the outstanding invoices for Barnhill Contracting Company in the amount of $72,900 and Skinner Farlow and Kerwin Architects in the amount of $408,606.95 be paid immediately with local funds, and a reimbursement from the county commissioners be requested.
Thank you for restating that, Dr. Fitch.
No problem.
Hearing no questions or comments, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, aye. It carries unanimously that we pay the invoices, and I think included in your motion was to request reimbursement from the county commissioners.
Yes.
That concludes my tenure at this table.
All right, Mrs. Barnes?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that the Wilson County Board of Education go into closed session to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes Statutes 143-318.11A1 and 6 and 115C-319 through 321 to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A1 and North Carolina General Statutes 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G, and to consult with the Board of Education attorney and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A3.
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Barnes, seconded by Mrs. Boyette, that the Wilson County Board of Education go into closed session to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A1 and 6 and 115C-319 through 321 to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A1 and North Carolina General Statutes 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 United States Code 1232G, and to consult with the Board of Education attorney and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A3. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned to closed session.